just wanted to share some thoughts, so I don't have to move around, but I can share my thoughts for you guys, especially old, not old, you're not old, young yet, not kids, right? So a little bit about how you should be learning Kendo when you're old. Not old, but anyway. So now, easy way. Now, this is how you look at Kendo movement. I know all kinds of basics are there. Basics are because of these, not these, this, katana. Kendo basics is based on this, right? And of course, again, we have different movements. So, of course, you have to separate this movement to this movement, right? Small and big. Now, it is necessary for light starters, to learn smaller strikes. And for over the decades, I've been telling people that all you have to do is big movement. You can learn small movement easily. I think it's not true. It is true for people, for some people, of course. I learned big strikes when I was 7, 8. And then over the course of, over the years, I learned how to strike small by watching a lot of senseis, right? Environments. But you don't have that environment, so let's learn. Now, how to learn? Big man strike, okay? So this is how you look at it. Now, you decide goal, okay, goal. Now, big man strike, I'm gonna get down a little bit so I don't have to hit the fan, ceiling fan. Big man strike, of course, your left hand should be above your man, right, above your head. And you go, right, the big strike. Big strike, right? Now, small strike doesn't go, your left hand doesn't go above your head. Now, what happens here is you go do, 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 and pop, pop. This is the basic of small man strike. Okay, that's how I learned it. And especially the 9th dan sensei I had when I was a kid. From kid to when I was in New Zealand, he passed away. So when I was 20 or 21. So he, of course, he had major influence on me. He said, if you watch my YouTube channel videos, you know how he taught me. He taught me going like this. Your palms, call it this. Strike me. That means from here, you lift up. Now, a lot of people think, yes, kote is vulnerable. Yes, it is. Very true, kote is vulnerable. But that's how I learned. And how can you avoid kote cut? You'll learn when to strike. Okay, that's why Kendo is very difficult. When you strike, you will have opening here, here, here. You go like that. It's all open. You're gonna open up your targets, right? Your body, and you have to sacrifice yourself. We call it commitment. You have to commit yourself into your cut. Now, that is important part of Kendo. Of course, hitting part is fun, and that's that a lot of people wants to hit, but as you get better, as you get more advanced, actually you will like before the things happen before strike. You like that part. One basic main strike is like a small main strike is this one, top, that. Now, I want you to think about it. Now, this motion, this motion, right? This motion. Again, yes, it is true. You lift up your right hand like this. And when I strike small man continuously like left hand stays here and go strike man like this. Now, there's another way to accomplish that. You don't move your right hand, but move left hand. Like this. Before was like this, but this one is like this. Okay, now, I don't know what you guys think about it. You can accomplish same result, small man strike. But actually, there are two ways. Which one is correct? You might wonder, right? Now, adults, Kendo practitioners, and late Kendo practitioners learn both. Okay? Now, Kendo tendency, if I say traditionally or in old days, maybe you like it and you think that's the correct way to do. I only can tell you from my perspective and what I learned. And I always go back to this. When I have doubts. The reason we strike like this is because of this. So left hand goes up. So my sensei, direct sensei, Miyazaki sensei, he strike like this. Left hand up. Like that. Can we strike him? Can we, and I should say, can I strike him? Not really. Can he strike me without me hitting his kote? Yes. Even though he goes, he lifts up his hands up like that. So it's not about age. Of course, he has more experience than I have. And of course, he's, great. So of course he can kick my ass. But that proves that it's about when you strike. Of course, how you strike involves, but all he is doing is like that. Not very small. He is not very fast anymore, but he has a lot of pressure. Now, of course, you can't do this pressure. It's more, you really have to have experience with that. If you can do like that, what's the point of training? You don't have to train. Okay, so I want you to practice both. Okay, now this is one way to strike. All right, based on this big man strike. Okay, I'm sorry, big man strike. Now from here, because a lot of people, the tendency-wise, if you don't move your right hand but left hand, it is true you can lift up your sword like this. Okay, from here, right, like this. Pum, pum, right? Instead of pum, pum, that. Right? Now, of course, this seems more risky. This is less risky, but as you can see, this is also, if you go like this, right? I'm sorry. If I go like this, I go pum, use left hand like that. It does work. So, for practice purpose, okay, I want you to learn both before you say that's correct or that's not correct. Of course, you want to do correct. Correct Kendo. Okay, let's go back to what's correct Kendo. Of course, you want to go back to the old days with this, right? You probably want to, but we don't strike like that in Kendo, right? So, sorry, let's just stop blurry. So, we don't strike, man, like this. We can, but our advanced technique or applied technique is small. Okay, I do that, but doesn't mean I can't really do it. This right hand, this is not correct because this accomplish. It is accomplished. It accomplishes Kiken Taichi, ki. Ki means energy, internal energy, and Ken, sword, Tai, body, and it go. Okay, and if we want to talk about, does it really cut? You really have to try to cut something. This, I'm sure I can cut. I can cut something on, you know. But with this, probably I can cut, but I don't feel I can make the strike strong. To do this, have your right hand fixate, and go. That's because I'm not used to it. Okay, but if I practice that, maybe I should be able to cut like that too. Now, so when you practice, all Kendo, all late status, I want you to look at Kendo, of course, in traditional way as well. Traditional way, we never forget this katana part. But at the same time, Kendo developed its own styles, right? Longer sword compared to katana, okay? Smaller cut, and this fumikomi-ashi, a type of footwork, we use that a lot, right? You don't see that in Iaido. They do, but they don't go, right? After strike especially. So there are a lot of differences. How you strike is more physical, right? Physical part of Kendo. And this pressure, or how you make an opening is mental part, right? This tension is something you cannot get from just drawing sword. This tension, okay, what are you gonna do? And then get into the distance, throwing yourself at your opponent. You need to be brave. Okay, so that is more important than actual strike. But of course, there are many ways to strike. If you don't strike, you're not doing Kendo. So you practice Kendo techniques, as many techniques as you can, okay? And of course, fumikomi-ashi as well. Fumikomi-ashi, pon, right? And I have tons of videos going over fumikomi-ashi, especially missing pieces of Kendo missing pieces. I go over fumikomi-ashi, how you practice fumikomi-ashi. I want to go over it because without fumikomi-ashi, the modern Kendo, you are missing out a lot. And of course, you don't have to do fumikomi-ashi, but again, more varieties of techniques, you can have more fun. And you can have a lot of techniques, and you can have this tension, and then let go of the tension and see what happens. So that's a mind game as well. So a lot of people focus on actual physical part. That's, of course, that's more attractive because you can see what's going on very fast. Yeah, but actual what's going on inside before they strike, how they are creating this opportunity is more fun. Okay, so if you're instructor side, It is very important for your beginners or adult practitioners to know how to strike. But I want you to show them before they strike what options they have. Osai, pushing down, hanai, right? And of course, they need to go this one step and one strike. That's very important. If they can do one step and one strike, you'll lose your opportunity big time.